This video was produced using artificial intelligence tools for research, scripting, and narration. All analysis and predictions are AI-generated commentary, not verified intelligence. This video is presented for educational purposes, and the analysis is generated based on publicly available information and should not be considered as verified intelligence. Moving to the most significant development this week, the situation in the Middle East has taken a dramatic turn, with the U.S. launching strikes against Iranian military sites, and Iran responding by downing U.S. missiles. This escalation has raised concerns about the potential for further conflict in the region, and analysts suggest that the situation is now at a critical juncture. The global situation is currently at a high level, with multiple conflicts and tensions around the world. The Russia-Ukraine war continues to dominate headlines, with NATO-Russia tensions over Ukraine remaining a major concern. Meanwhile, the China-Philippines South China Sea dispute is also escalating, with the U.S. and other countries expressing support for the Philippines. In a significant development, the European Union has imposed sanctions on Russia, targeting key sectors of the Russian economy, and the U.S. has also taken action against Iranian military sites. The Israel-Hamas conflict is also ongoing, with both sides suffering casualties, and the Yemen civil war continues to cause humanitarian concerns. From an educational standpoint, the current international situation is complex and multifaceted, with various regional and global factors at play. The global economy is also being affected, with trade and security being major concerns. The U.S.-China diplomatic tensions over Taiwan are also a significant issue, with both countries expressing competing interests. Turning now to the regional breakdown, in Europe, the situation is critical, with the Russia-Ukraine war causing significant concerns. The conflict has resulted in major humanitarian and economic impacts, and the international community is calling for a peaceful resolution. In Asia, the situation is high risk, with the China-Philippines South China Sea dispute being a major concern. The U.S. and other countries are expressing support for the Philippines, and China is increasing its military presence in the region. In the Middle East, the situation is critical, with the U.S. strikes against Iranian military sites causing a significant escalation. The Israel-Hamas conflict is also ongoing, with both sides suffering casualties, and the Yemen civil war continues to cause humanitarian concerns. In North America, the situation is elevated, with the U.S.-China diplomatic tensions over Taiwan being a significant issue. The U.S. is also increasing its military presence in the region, and China is responding by increasing its own military capabilities. In Africa, the situation is elevated, with the Ethiopia-Tigray conflict causing significant humanitarian concerns. The international community is calling for a peaceful resolution, and the U.S. and other countries are providing aid to the affected regions. Meanwhile, in the Asia-Pacific, the situation is moderate, with the Solomon Islands reviewing its security pact with China. The U.S. and other countries are expressing concerns about China's increasing military presence in the region, and the Solomon Islands is considering its options. Moving to the domain analysis, the military, diplomatic, and economic dimensions of current events are all interconnected. The U.S. and other countries are using a combination of military and diplomatic means to achieve their objectives, and the economic impacts of the conflicts are being felt around the world. The military dimension is significant, with the U.S. and other countries increasing their military presence in various regions. The diplomatic dimension is also important, with the U.S. and other countries engaging in high-level talks to reduce tensions and find common ground. The economic dimension is also critical, with the conflicts and tensions causing significant impacts on trade and commerce. The global economy is being affected, and the international community is calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflicts. Turning now to scenario modeling, one scenario being discussed is that Iran will launch a retaliatory missile strike against U.S. military assets in the Middle East within the next 7 days, targeting a U.S. naval vessel or a military base in the region, with analysts suggesting an 85% confidence level in this scenario. Another scenario is that Russia will initiate a new wave of attacks against Ukrainian cities, including Kiev, within the next 7 days, in an attempt to break the stalemate and gain a strategic advantage, with a confidence level of 82%. Commentary indicates that China will increase its military presence in the South China Sea within the next 7 days, deploying additional naval vessels and aircraft to the region in response to U.S. and Philippine military activities, with a confidence level of 80%. From an educational standpoint, the European Union will impose additional sanctions on Russia within the next 7 days, targeting key sectors of the Russian economy and increasing pressure on the Kremlin to negotiate a peace settlement in Ukraine, with a confidence level of 78%. Analysts suggest that Israel will expand its military operations in southern Lebanon within the next 7 days, targeting Hamas and other militant groups in an attempt to disrupt their supply lines and weaken their military capabilities, with a confidence level of 75%. One scenario being discussed is that the US and China will engage in a high-level diplomatic meeting within the next 7 days, in an attempt to reduce tensions and find common ground on issues such as trade, security, and Taiwan, with a confidence level of 68%. From a historical context, the current situation has parallels with past geopolitical situations, such as the Cold War and the lead-up to World War II. The international community is calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflicts, and the US and other countries are using a combination of military and diplomatic means to achieve their objectives. The global impact of the current situation is significant, with the conflicts and tensions causing humanitarian, economic, and security concerns around the world. The international community is calling for a peaceful resolution, and the US and other countries are working to reduce tensions and find common ground. In conclusion, the current global situation is complex and multifaceted, with various regional and global factors at play. The US and other countries are using a combination of military and diplomatic means to achieve their objectives, and the economic impacts of the conflicts are being felt around the world. If you would like to learn more about the current global situation and its implications, please subscribe to our channel and join the conversation in the comments section below. We appreciate your feedback and look forward to providing you with more educational analysis and commentary in the future.